So just for signing up for the Resistance is Futile Month 3 event, this is what you're going to get. This is our participation prize. This time we have the high yield photon torpedoes. And we'll take a look at them. High yield photon torpedoes are a resource. They cost 5 points. At the start of the game, after Gather Forces step, place your high yield photon torpedo card beside your ship cards. While you have high yield photon torpedo resource, all your photon torpedo upgrades for all ships in your fleet gain the following abilities. During the roll attack dice step, add +1 attack die to your roll, and you may re-roll one of your blank results once. On the back, explains about resource cards, how you're limited to 1 per fleet, and how to distribute the SP cost. In this case, it's just added to your fleet total because it's not on any specific ship. They also give you this little card. This is actually the card you're supposed to put next to your fleet. Not sure really the point this one serves other than to make it more visible. The fact that you have the resource card next to your fleet should be enough, but this one makes it a little more obvious to people across the table. Maybe think that was their thinking. If you're running a Fed fleet or anything running lots of photon torpedoes, definitely worth it. Torpedoes don't seem to get used as much as they should. They're a little underpowered for what they should be, so they don't get used a terribly lot. 5 points to upgrade all of your photon torpedoes in your fleet. If you're running multiples, definitely worth it for the +1 attack die and the extra die reroll. Definitely a useful card in certain situations. Hopefully they're going to do something in the near future to make torpedoes a little more appealing. And then if that becomes the case, these are definitely a nice upgrade. Right now I only see it getting used in smaller ships swarm builds where you may be counting on those secondary weapons like torpedoes to boost up the ship's damage, because most of those smaller swarm ships only have a 1 or a 2 attack. So in that case it's definitely useful. As it is, it's kind of mediocre.
I almost forgot, as another one of the participation prizes, you got a replacement Kubak, which is a Vulcan captain card, to replace the one that came with the expansion that actually mistakenly had the Dominion faction. He now has the proper Vulcan faction. So everybody who showed up got one of those as well.
This is the basic idea behind the scenario for this event. You have the transwarp conduit on this side. The line in the middle is supposed to represent the divide between normal space and Borg controlled space. So you're going to start with one player in this bottom corner here, one player in the top corner up there. The idea is you can either go straight at each other and do your normal fight on that half of the table and just do a normal game as usual and fight to the death. Your other option, which a lot of people tended to ignore in this scenario because of how ridiculously broken it was, is to cross that line and attack the aperture. There were 2 ways you could do this. If you were to pass through the aperture and then off the edge of the table, your ship was considered in the transwarp conduit, and at the beginning of the next planning phase would return to the Alpha Quadrant and gain you an extra 20 bonus points. The other option is to destroy the aperture, which took 20 points of damage to destroy. The catch is you can only attack it while on the Borg controlled side of the line, and once you're on that side, the turn you enter it and every turn you stay in play, the Borg ships in the zone, which aren't actually represented on the table, would start attacking you. And you took 4 dice attacks 2 times on every ship on this side. And then it actually increased exponentially depending on how big your ship's hull was. And that started really beating on your ships. If you could manage to destroy the aperture, you gained 40 extra points, and that ship immediately went back to the Alpha Quadrant. So you gained the extra points for that too, which was nice. Overall, most fights stayed on this half of the board and just became a straight up joust. A lot of people tried to joust over here with their normal ships and sent one ship that way, which left you undermanned on this side of the board, which worked out for a few people but not for most. Overall, it was just a joust on half the field, is what it came down to for our games anyway. The other thing that came with the scenario kit was a commendation token. The winner of the event gets one of these. It allows you a free reroll at one point during the next event. They come with most of the OP kits. The prize for winning this event, or for the sportsmanship award, depending on how they gave away the second one. Some people do a random drawing and things, but the prize for this event was the Galer class assimilated ship here. It's also known as the Traeger and some strange number because the Borg used long numbers to name them. But anyway, check out the video specifically for that ship if you're interested in seeing what all comes with that. I'm doing a separate video to show that in more detail. As this was the last event in the Resistance's Futile OP event, a 3-month-long campaign, the overall prize for winning over the 3-month period is the Tactical Cube 001. Again, I'm going to do a separate video on that and go into it a little more detail, but it's an interesting ship. Definitely, if you're a Borg fan or collector, it's one you need to get. This is the cube that attacked Earth in Star Trek First Contact. So check that video out if you're interested in that, and I'll see you in the next video.